Hello everybody and welcome to my YouTube channel, Dream of Crafts. My name is Deanna and today we will be working on week number 36 of my 52 weeks of Christmas. This is a challenge, if you do not know, that I have created for myself because I always feel like Christmas comes and goes so fast that by the time I get done with the fun things with the grandkids and the children that I've had not much time to do my crafts and enjoy them. So today we're going to be working on something similar to this. I created this several years ago. It is actually cardstock, and I have hand painted some snowmen on it. So we're going to be doing this today. Now you can do this on canvas or wood. Just if you use canvas, make sure you prep it with your gesso like you would for any other type of painting you would do on your canvases. Other than that, the process is going to be the same. If it is a canvas, then you might want to put something underneath it so that it should stay tight because you're just painting. But just be aware not to stretch your canvas as you are painting. So I started with a basic piece of cardstock. Now this happens to be textured on the back side. I'm just going to show you how I got this kind of shimmery streaks of clouds in the sky. You can do white. You cannot do it if you don't want to. That is fine. I picked up some gunmetal folk art paint and I have added it to my paint tray here. Just a couple drops, and then I added just like a drop of water to make this more of like a light wash. I do not want it real prominent. I just want it in the background. And I took one of my older brushes, kind of scrubbing. It's soft, but it's still got like scrubby edges. And you're just going to make streaks with it. Just like so. Just light streaks. And that's all I did for the sky. Just like that. As many or as little as you want. Okay. And you get something like that. Now, once this gets spattered, I mean, your snowman and stuff is going to take up this area anyway. And you'll have a moon in there. So, but it gives it just a nice shimmery background. And this one is probably a little too dark. This is the one I practiced with just to make sure this was the exact color I wanted, because it had been so long since I had painted my original. I wanted to pick up something as close as I thought that I used because, like I said, it's been a long time and I could not remember exactly what I used. So that worked perfect. It's a nice shimmer. So we're going to start with that. I've got one prepped here and dry, so we're ready to go. Now what I've done to this one also is, I'm going to rinse my brush here a second. I went ahead and I drew, where's my rule? Here we go. For this tree here, because I thought you'd like some measurements, I came up about 7.5 inches, made a little mark with my pencil. Just a little mark anywhere in here where you can see the dot. I then came in 1.75 inches on that line and made another dot. Then I arched it, staying about 1/2 inch from my edge here, and I just drew an arch going down to there. It does not have to be exact. So, if you know, it's just a slight arch to create this bend in our little pine tree here. I have several different sizes of circles, just from, some are from my kitchen area, some are from my craft area. So it's a ribbon roll. This was the top of a, this is actually the bottom of a clay pot, the base that you'd set your pot in, and I've used that. And I just drew some out. I started just off a center for my center snowman. My center mark is, get this here. My center is 6 inches, which is right here. So as you can see, oh no, you can't see. My edges are here and here. So he's just off center. His center would probably be like 5 5 5/8. would be the center of the center snowman here. So I just kind of penciled them in, and I'll show you just to give you an idea. There we go. You can just see that they're lightly penciled in there, and you can see my pine branch here, maybe. There it is. You can just see the arch of the pine branch. So that's what we're going to start with there. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and do my moon up in my right-hand corner here, because that's going to be out of my way and I won't be touching it. So I've got a tiny bit of my school bus yellow, my Folk Art 736 paint in my paint tray. I'm going to take a little bit of my white and mix that in with it. So I have a nice, looking for my right size brush here. Here we go. I want just a little bit of my white and just a tab of that yellow. I'm actually going to just kind of mix it right up here on this part here. I want the yellow, light yellow first. So we're just going to take our pencil and I'm just going to draw, I actually want a small circle. Let's see here. All right. Take the cap of my Mod Podge here. I'm going to come up about halfway and meet back about halfway again. And then I'm just going to make myself a crescent moon. Okay, does not have to be exact. All right, it just gives me something to follow. So I'm just not randomly painting here. I'm going to turn this so it's a better angle for me. As you can see, this is just a light yellow. And if you're not perfect, don't worry about it. You can come back in and get a little bit more detail on it. Use a smaller brush if you like, if that's what you're more comfortable with. Bring in just a little bit more, mix it up here a little bit. There we go. And while this is still damp, I want to come back in with my little bit darker. I've got plenty of school bus yellow there, so I'm going to come back in with just my school bus yellow while that's still damp, and I'm going to feather that in from the outside edge here. Just kind of blend it in there. And I can do this because that other yellow is still damp, so it's picking up the lightness as I'm putting down the darkness. It's picking that up. So it's just kind of blending them together just a little bit. I can come back in with some more light in my center here because my dark is still, but as long as it's still damp, you'll be fine. Just to get that nice edge. There we go. Okay, I know it's hard to see close up. Let me turn off my light here. I don't know if it'll make much difference. And I don't know if you can. There is two different colors there. I don't know if it's picking up or not. It's hard for me to tell with my camera. So, all right. So that's our moon. I'm going to turn my light back on because it is easier for me to see with that coming down there. Okay. I'm going to actually bring my water over here so I can rinse my brush. So if I need it right away again, I can have it. All right. Let me get these things out of my way. The less I have in my way, the better. Okay, so now I'm going to start with a base of our white for my snowman. I'm going to start with my outside bottoms here, and I want a fairly decent size brush. Let's start with this one here. Make sure it doesn't have muck in it, okay? So I'm going to come in with a good amount of paint, and I'm going to start with my outside ones. Get some newspaper under here. There we go. This is a well-loved newspaper. I'm going to bring this all down into this corner here. Fill that in. There we go. All right. It doesn't matter if it feathers into this one. We're going to do this one last, so he'll have the outer layer. All right. Make his shoulders look rounded. There we go. Fill that in. Now I'm going to come in and do his head. And this I am going to try to keep rounded. And I got to watch this brush because I see it has a couple of hairs that are kind of spreading out a little bit there. And he's going to get a scarf. If we have to do more than one layer, we can. Trying to keep his in a circular motion here, just in case any of my brush lines do show up. And I'm going to be careful not to put my hand in there. I'm going to go with a different brush here. Okay, there we go. Let's try this one. There we go. That is much better. Sometimes my brushes get really abused, and you just need to go buy some more probably. But all right, we got one coat on that. We're going to let that set up. We're going to go over to our next little guy over here. Do the same thing. We're going to do his base first. Coming out from there. He don't go all the way to the end of the paper, so we're going to be a little bit more mindful of that. And he's also going to get a scarf. They all are. They're all going to get a little scarf. And you don't have to stay, I mean, we're just trying to keep that ball shape. If you go out of your lines a little bit, that's not a big deal. We're just trying to keep that ball shape like a snowman. Okay. Let's go ahead and do his head. If you don't like the shape of the head, you can adjust it. This is just a general size and feel for their head. It doesn't have to end up being that exact size. You can go bigger if you think bigger is going to look better. I just use the different size circles just to give me a start point. And if you do not have, if you can't find different containers, you can use a compass. If you have a compass, you can have just cut a circle out of paper, or just draw a circle on there. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. These are just the general, just to give us something to start with. All right. Now with your canvas, you're going to have less warping. Once this is all dry, I will stack books and stuff on this to flatten this back out for a few days, and then it will be fine. All right, now I'm going to come in and give him his detail. He's like the top one. He's in the center, so I'm going to make him the top snowman here. And like I said, we will have to come in and give these a second coat because that blue is dark. But fortunately it's paper and it usually sucks in pretty fast. Nowadays, people paint so much on wood and stuff instead of canvas and things, so you could easily do that. If you do not have the colors I say, come up with the closest color you can. Most everybody's got, you know, the whites and the blacks and things like that. But if you don't have school bus yellow, use a different yellow. And or for any of the colors that I'm using. Now I can notice here that I'm going to want this bottom piece wider here. It just looks odd to me. So I'm going to bring this out just a little bit further here, just to make him look a little more balanced. Got a little excess paint there. There we go. There. And as we go along, you know, I might widen the other one. Just trying to, there. Looks a little more balanced to me. This one here, I think his head has to come out a little bit this way. So I'm going to bring it out just a little bit. There we go. We're going to give him his bottom second coat. Being mindful not to stick our hand in anything. All right. And I'm trying to pull away from that other edge to keep the definition for my center snowman. And I'm just pulling towards this outer edge here. There we go. And we're going to come back over his head, so there we go. Let's go ahead and do his head again. Keeping that circle shape. He's going to get a scarf so his neck will be covered up, so you won't see where the line met up. There we go. All right, I can see that his head has to come up here a little bit. It's all in what's pleasing to your eye. If it looks a little odd, fill it in a little bit. And then I'm going to drop this shoulder down, I think, a little bit too. You don't have to do a lot because, like I said, he's going to get a scarf. So, there we go. All right. Let's go back to this one here. Now this blue is pretty dark through there, so if you want to give it more coats, then go ahead. I'm hoping that will dry up pretty quick here. All right, so let's go ahead and come back up here. Now time-wise, I'm probably going to stop at 2 coats with this, but if you are still seeing color through there, I would recommend you do another coat. Let it dry good in between. But because of time and stuff, I want to move on. So, but as you can see, a little bit, you can see just a faint blue showing through there. So I probably would give that another coat until I had all pure white going through there. Like I said, I want to limit the time here, so. Okay, so let's go ahead. I'm going to put some more paint in here. And I maybe should have used maybe some of my heavier white paint, but this will be fine. Okay. Just curving this. Kind of keep that ball shape. My other one, most of the lines didn't show up too definite, other than this top line here, not over top of the other snowmen. There we go. Let's go ahead and put his head in here. All right. And this, like I said, is textured, so that is probably having an effect also on my coverage. But I like the textured paper because it gives me that canvas look. Canvases, I mean, you can get them on sale pretty cheap now, so it doesn't have to be a high dollar canvas. But when I did my original, and it's probably, I bet it's been maybe 6 years when I painted that other one. You know, I didn't have canvas the day I wanted to do that, so I just did it on the paper. And now I have lots of canvases in my stock, but I'm just doing it on paper again. Paper's a lot less expensive. There we go. All right. So I'm going to take a look at that. I'm going to drop that down a little bit there. Okay. Something's looking pretty good. He's got a little smudge there. Must have rubbed it. Yep, I did. I got it on my hand here. So let me kind of come in here and get rid of that. I try to be really careful, but it takes one little mark and then, okay. Like I said, I would go back in and give these another coat. But my paper is pretty wet already, so I'm just going to not do that. But I recommend, if you can see your color through there, to go ahead and give that another coat. And like I said, I'm going to put, once this is dry, and I might go back in and give another coat if I decide to keep this. I don't think I will, but if I do decide to keep it, I probably would, even once I get my other things painted on there, go back in and give it a different coat. All right. I'm going to take some just of my regular, this is Bonfire Orange, and it's almost completely gone. I don't have very much left in there, but it's a nice orange for carrot noses. So let me come in here. Now I've got one nose going this way, like so. Like that. Just an idea. One's pointing straight up. So we're just going to, whoops, maybe not put that part over. And with carrots, they're bumpy. They're not stiff straight like that. Okay. So it gives us a basic shape to start with. Let's start over here on the left. Let me see how I can put this. Here we go. I'm going to put them upside down. Ooh, that would have been bad. This brush is very stiff for some reason. It's not got cleaned out very good or something. So I'm just going to kind of make it look kind of bumpy. Like a carrot. I'm going to come out here a little ways. Kind of like that. There we go. My next one here. Oh, we've got plenty there. Plenty of paint there. Like I said, there's pencil lines there, but I will come back in and erase those once everything is completely dry. I don't want to do it until everything's dry. Again, if you feel you need a second coat, you can come back in and do that. Our last one here. It's going to start at the center and work our way up to a point. Like so. Now, I'm going to come in with just a tiny bit of brown. Just the faintest little bit of brown. You could even use probably a little gel pen or something. Let's see if I can get a little tiny bit of brown there. I need some for my tree anyway, so I'm just going to put some in there. But I want just a faint brown. And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to give these carrots just some little curves. And you might not be able to even see this, but I'm just giving it little curves here like a carrot might have. Actually, I think it's still got plenty in it. This one's still kind of wet. I'm going to get just a little bit more. And just little lines here and there on the way up. There you go. All right. Now for our tree. I'm going to come back in with that same brown. And we're going to go from bottom. Now I think it's going to be easier for me. Typically I would start wider, but I think we're going to start narrower. So we're going to start at our top. And I'm just going to follow my line. Down. Does not have to be perfect. I'm going to start at the bottom here and I'm going to pull up a little bit here. I want to widen that out just a little bit. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to come in with some, this is called Latte 11128, and it's Anita's. The other one was a Folk Art Chocolate Fudge 950. Like I said, a dark brown and a tan. That's all you would need, okay? All right. So because I just need a tiny bit, I'm just going to get it right out of here. And I'm going to come back in while this is still damp, and I'm just going to on my left side here, just run some very light lines right there. Just to highlight that edge a little bit. Make it stand out. Come back into the spot where it's a little too light. There we go. Just a tiny bit. Okay. A good look there. And as you can see, my paper looks like it's warping a little bit. That's fine. It will flatten out. This one is perfectly flat. It looks dried just fine. Okay, so now I have Black Forest Green DA83, and that's an Americana. So any dark green, forest green, any green you like. Give that a good shake there. I did shake them up before I put them out here, but I always like to give them a little, some of my paints sit for a little while, and I don't want to think that they're mixed together good, and they're not. So we're going to come on this with our green, and I'm going to start at my top, and I'm just going to bring some streaks down like this. Just from each side here. Give me some pine looking, come like that. Center a little bit. Okay. We're going to come down just a little bit and do it again. Does not have to be perfect. It's just simulating. Come down a little bit again. Do the same thing. Both sides here. A little bit again. Now I don't want to get it on my snowman, so I'm going to make it look like it's back behind him. Okay. I think I'm going to give this one just a little bit more. There we go. Come down a little bit again. Okay. And then down here a little bit. All right, we're going to let those dry a little bit, and then we're going to come back in with some white, and we'll highlight those. Now, if you want, you can use like a white gel pen if you don't want to try to get a fine enough line on those, but they do have to be dry before you do that. You could come in with your white now, but you're going to pick up greens, so we're just going to let that dry a little bit. We're not trying to blend it, so I'm going to let that dry. I'm actually going to try to erase that little pencil line there. Pretty good. All right, so now I have some hot pink 634 folk art. I'm just going to open my cap because I'm going to use just a Q-tip right here for my pink. And I want my Q-tip wet to start with. So I got a little water in the cap of this water bottle here. Doesn't have to be sopping wet. And I'm going to actually dip in here, and then I'm going to rub it off to the side here because I don't want it too dark. I'm just going to lightly, very lightly, come in here with a cheek, just like that. This one here is going to have two little cheeks. Okay. And then this one's cheek is over here. Now I'm not going to make any mouths on these. You could, but I'm not going to. There we go. So that takes care of that for a second. Now for their eyes. You can use a marker if that's easier for you. I'm just going to get some paint in the top of my thing here. This one has no eyes. This one has two eyes. One about right in here. And one right about in here. Just like so. You can make your eyes round if you want, oval. This one here. I'm actually going to keep them like this so it's easier for me. Let's see here. You need one about right in here and one about right in there. Here we go. Okay, cover my black up. That's all I needed my black for. So I'm going to get that out of my way. I'm going to kind of try to figure out my scarves here. Okay, let's see. I think right like in here. And that's just going to be kind of a wavy line. It's not going to be straight because our scarves don't lay straight. So a scarf like in that. His scarf is going to come in to the center here. He's going to have a fold over part. It comes down. And it comes back from the center. And this part goes up. And I don't know how long I'm going to make his band. I'm just getting an idea. I'll lift this for you in a second just so you can see it. And then his scarf is going to be like here. His or hers. His or hers. So there. You can see some pencil lines there. Just real light. So I've got two different pinks, two different teals, and two different purples. I'm going to start with my light purple here. And I'm just going to open my cap. Oops. That's loopy there. There we go. Let's try again here. I think it looks like I got a little bit in there. Get all my brushes out of here. Okay. Let's go with this brush here. I'm just going to get some of my purple paint. Let's do this one on the left here with purple. Like I said, it's not, our scarves don't lay perfectly flat. They have like little bumps and stuff. We're going to come outside of his neck here, like so. And again, this does not have to be perfect. So if you ever tied a scarf on, you know that they don't lay just flat. So and I don't mind that little bit of that white showing through because it actually gives the scarf a look of shadowing. Okay, now I will come back in because I do see my blue through here. I don't know if I can get it right here. There we go. A little bit of my blue showing through there. We're going to Just use a little bit thicker paint right there, just to conceal that. There we go. So we can do, get a tie coming down here maybe. Let's get a tie coming down over here, I think. Down off this side here. And then we will highlight that with our darker purple. So it looks like it's separate. And then maybe bring another, like another one coming this way. Off of there. I'm just dipping that in the top edge of my paint here. Okay. So let's make that look like that. Okay, well that sets up a minute. Then we're gonna go ahead and come in with our next scarf color. All right. I think I'm going to make the center one, I think I'll do that in the teal color. So let's go ahead and start with our light colored teal. I'm going to cover that purple up so I don't accidentally knock it over and cause a paint disaster. All right. This time I got some in the cap here. So let's go ahead and get his scarf going. Again, it's a little bumpy. Turn your page whichever way you have to reach it, but I always keep my pinky down in a dry area. Keep my hand elevated. Try to. Every now and then I'll let my guard down and I'll get paint somewhere where I don't want it. Okay. And again, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Right here you can see a little bit of the blue coming through in here. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that with just a little bit thicker paint right there. And over here, do the same thing. If I have to come back in a little bit and add some more, I will. And then we're going to do the tie part of this scarf here. We're going to get that going like that. Maybe have part of it come off this way and part of it come off that way. Like so, I think. There we go. Cover up that teal. And we're going to make designs with our darker colors. All right, so let's go ahead with our light pink, which is Anita's Acrylic Princess Pink, and looks like the number is covered in paint. 11108, but it is Princess Pink, if I'm off on the number. All right, get my brush cleaned out again. My water's looking a little milky colored. Okay, so here we go. Come in here. Just like so. Now this does take a little time, but you know, if you, and you don't have to rush it. I'm trying to go a little bit faster because it is a video. You take your time. Again, my pinky is down, lifting my hand above. And I am no professional painter. I paint the way I paint because I like to, but I am not a professional. I have not been professionally trained. I just have always liked to dabble in different art forms, and so I don't know if I'm doing it right. I'm doing it my way, and it may be wrong, but it works for me, so it may work for you too. All right, let's see. Let's give him a couple little, him or her, a couple little ties coming down also. Like I said, we'll find that tie part. With the darker color. There we go. I'm going to get a smaller brush here again. I want to add some more of that lighter teal over that blue. It's showing up pretty prominent here. So let me go back in again. Just add a little bit heavier paint there. There we go. Okay. Believe it or not, we're almost done. Looks like our tree's dry enough. So while our scarves are kind of drying up a little bit, let's go ahead and get our white on our little tree branches. Let me see here. I've got a very small brush here. I'm just going to put a dab of paint on there, and I'm just going to add little white streaks to this. You don't have to be solid. Just dotted, it doesn't matter. Just like a light bit of snow on. We're not covering up all the green, just giving it some definition here. Like I said, you can use your gel pen. I sometimes use my gel pen just to create my highlight lines. But you can use paint. I don't know if a paint marker, I guess if you can find a real fine tip paint marker, you would be all right. All right. There we go. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and do some designs on their scarves. So here's my dark pink. Well, let's start with my purple because that was done first, so that's probably going to be the drier one. All right, this purple is Grape 11030 Anita's acrylic. And we're going to set that there. And I think we'll do, let's go ahead and just do some dots, but I want to define the tie part here. So let me go in here and create like where it might have tied together just lightly. There we go. It's like two ends came together. I think I'm just going to do some random dots here. Keep it nice and simple. Try to get them about the same size. Don't have to be perfect. You can even use the back side of your brush if you've got a nice flat brush. This one I'm using right now is not flat on the bottom, and it will not make very good circles. Okay. And we're going to get some dots on here. Okay. And then I'm going to create a line here to separate these two bands here. There we go. Like that. And add some dots here. Another one, they had checkered scarves, but okay. See if I got a flat brush. And that's pretty big. That one has a flat bottom. But practice, I mean, if you want to use the back end of your paintbrush, kind of practice with the dipping it in the paint and then putting it on your project. There we go. All right. I think we need one more up in here. Just like that. There we go. Okay, so that's our purple. Oopsie. All right. For the center one, I think I'm going to come in with, let's come in with some black. I'm going to put my black stripes, I think, on that. So let me just put just a tiny bit of black in here, just like a dot. Not going to need a lot. There we go. All right. So I'm just going to do some stripes. I'm going to turn this way. And just do some stripes in here. The paint is still wet down there. Be careful. All right, so we've got them splitting off here. Two different directions. Go. We're going to make this look like they're looking like they're separate. I can come back in with my darker teal and separate those two. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in with my darker teal a second here. I'm just going to take the top off here. Dip into the top here. And I'm going to come in like this. Create my separate lines here. Right in here is where I'm going to separate them. I'm going one way, one going the other way. And we'll just edge that with the teal. the darker teal, I should say. Just kind of give it a little edge, like so. That. Get my brush too full. It's loaded pretty heavy. All right. All right. Okay. Close that up. Let's go ahead and add some bigger stripes here. I'm just going to make this plaid in a second. Get our one direction going here. Like that. Okay. There we go. And let's get some lines going down here. Trying to take just a little bit of paint on my brush so I'm not overloading it. Let's get another line going down here like so. And like so. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to go with our bright pink on top of our light pink here. And let's see. How about, I know, we're going to do snowflakes on that, but I want to use my snowflakes for my white first. I have several different snowflakes picked out from different ones of my stamps. Now these are all older, so I have one from, it's called G Studios Clear Stamps, and it's just a little set of 3. They're all together. You'll be able to see it once I stamp it. And then I have this one here from Clear Stamps, and it is Trimcraft Clear Stamps. And then I also have one from, this is Popcorn the Bear Crafter's Companion. So I have one from that. So we're just going to use a variety. Just to get a different effect. And you can see in this one, I just stamped them. You can just faintly see them. So I'm going to use my Stays On White opaque ink pad. Now this is the type of ink pad that you put your own ink in. That doesn't come already pre-inked. You add the ink and use it that way. So I'm just going to start with one of the snowflakes here. I'm just going to do some random snowflakes around. Get a good variety. Some, whoops. I think it gives it a nice righty. All right. Now with this StazOn ink, you got to use the StazOn ink cleaner. And I will do that once I'm all done. Let's try this little trio of stamps and see what we get with that. Oh yeah, so cute. We will just turn those in different directions and get a different feel for it. So, off the page a little bit. Whoops. Get one over here. This corner. And maybe one down in here. And I think one more up in here. Let's try that. We can always come back in and put more. I want to get a good variety. Okay. I'm going to come off the page here. Down in there. So over in here off the page. Again. Now you can double stamp these too, like stamp them onto something and then come in and stamp them. Makes it more faint. But I don't mind that they stand out a little bit more. Let me get another one coming off the page there like that. Okay, and let's bring in our last one here. And they're all different. Yep, a little different. A stamp behind his head there, and you can't see it on the white, so that works pretty good. And let's get you down on here. Between those two. Let's do one right here. And I think that's pretty good. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to go ahead and give these, I got them all back on, whoops. I got them all back on this little thing, and I'm going to get over top my garbage and spray these. And they can sit until I'm done. And then I can take them in and wash them down. Perfect. All right. Set those aside a second. There we go. Stuff is a little oily. All right. So now I think all we have to do is add our pink. And then we're going to splatter this with white paint. All right, what do we want to do? We got polka dots, we got plaid. Oh, that's right. I was going to use my stamps. Oh my goodness sakes. Just going crazy. Okay, so just let me wipe these off. That's why we did the stamps. Okay. There we go. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. And I don't know if I think I have a bright pink. Let me see. Oh, yeah. I do have a bright pink. This is a Stampabilities. It's a Hobby Lobby one. So let's go ahead and see what happens when I stamp with that. Let me see here. I like that one circle one. It was pretty. This one here. So let me see what I get. I'm going to stamp off here. Oh yeah. Okay. Actually, do I want to use those tiny ones? No. Let's keep the bigger one. Just gently. All right. Yeah, that might be too big. All right. We're going to go with just the little ones because just a little scarf. There we go. I'm just going to turn the stamp kind of different directions just to get I got a glare. There we go. Get a glare coming off of the light. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, that looks kind of cute. There we go. I'm going to put the piece of paper towel right down here. So when I stamp on that I'm not stamping off onto the other part. Got to get my fingers out of the way. There we go. Oh my goodness sakes. Trying to move my fingers out of the way and still hold that. Regular paper. There we go. Let's try that. There we go. Like that. Perfect. And let's do the same thing right here. Just bring it off here just a little bit. Perfect. All right. I'll bring that up so you can see it a little better. Boy, that paint does not show up in the... There we go. Now you can see the snowflakes. All right, so the only thing left is to spatter this. So I'm going to get the stuff back. I'm going to cover my laptop here a second, gently. Because I don't have my big spatter box. I just have a partial box. So, but you will get the general idea. I don't know where I think I must have put my spatter box downstairs because I could not find it the other day. So I'm going to have to go downstairs and take a look. So I'm just going to slide this inside that box. And I have a brush here that's kind of, oh, what did I do with my brush? It's kind of scruffy. Oh, here it is. It's just a little bit stiffer. All right, so I'm just going to dip in my white paint here. And I'm going to run my finger like this. I'm going to flick it. So I'm pulling back like this and flicking that paint. And you get big drops. Sometimes you get little ones. I'm going to bring it up here. I'm going to bring this out a little bit. You can do this with a toothbrush too. Turn it. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So there. So now you can see the spatter. And if I hold it up closer, you can see a lot of finer splatter too, see? So it makes it look like a night sky, like stars shining through. All right. That, my friends, is it. That's all we had to do. I hope you do try this. It's a nice little project. And like I said, you can do it on canvas. You can do it on wood. And I will press this for a few days and get it good and flat. So I hope you've been following along for my 52 weeks of Christmas. Thumbs up is always appreciated. And if you would please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell if you do. That way you're notified each time I put up a new video. I don't do just Christmas. I do lots of other things. So I hope you give this a try. Until the next time, have a great day. Bye-bye.